But Derek, I love you. In a really, really big, pretend to like your taste in music, let you eat the last piece of cheesecake, hold a radio over my head outside your window, unfortunate way that makes me hate you, love you. So pick me, choose me, love me.
Pick me girls. And now you may have seen her before, and no, I'm not talking about Meredith Grey, but the one who always claims that they're not like other girls. The one who laughs a little louder, tries a little harder, and somehow always ends up at the center of criticism. Online, she has the name
The Pick-Me Girl,
known as a pick-me girl.
being a pick-me, and it's
Pick-me girl has a pick-me girl.
Watching a pick-me girl from the male perspective.
It's called pick-me behavior.
the pick-me girl. But what happens when a label meant to describe behavior slowly transforms into a weapon? Today, we will step beyond the stereotype to explore something deeper. Because behind every pick-me accusation is a real person, navigating identity, insecurity, and expectation in a world that constantly tells women who they should be. Through personal interviews, lived experiences, and cultural analysis, we ask the simple but uncomfortable question. Are pick-me girls the problem? Or are they a reflection of something much bigger? Now, I'm not like other girls. My favorite subject isn't English or art, it's history. So, let's go back in time to 2016. The term pick-me originated in African American vernacular English and gained internet traction on Twitter through satire and humorous posts, where women exaggerated the behaviors that followed the pick-me stereotype. But like many internet trends, the meaning didn't truly stay the same. As it spread to platforms like TikTok, pick-me became less of a joke and more of a judgment. Suddenly, almost anything could qualify someone as a pick-me girl. Dr. Christina Riley, professor of gender and critical race theories and studies at American University, states, "The ambiguous presence of these skits on TV and social media enables everyone to add something to the list of grievances pitted against this figure, to the point where literally anything could qualify someone as a pick-me girl." But this idea didn't start online. For decades, women have been taught directly and indirectly that their value is tied to how desirable they are to men. And when the value is limited, competition follows. Research shows that competition can show up as exclusion, competition, and the tearing down of other women. A 2022 study of internalized sexism explains that women are often pushed into competing for validation, status, and belonging. If my gender is portrayed as an insult, a sign of weakness, dumb, poisonous, and the carrier of the original sin, the typical reaction of a sane person to this is, why the hell would I want to be classified as a girl? Jude Peason Augustin argues that pick-me behavior isn't just personality and is shaped by pressure. The pressure to be chosen, to be liked, to be enough. And here's the contradiction. The same culture that creates pick-me behavior is the same one that punishes it. We continue this loop of create, judge, and repeat. What started as a joke became a cycle. To understand this culture, I turn to the people living it. Through one-on-one interviews, I ask students to define, reflect, and confront the idea of the pick-me girl in their own lives, not through surveys, not through statistics, but through real conversations, because hearing it directly is different from reading a quote. Have you ever changed your interests, personality, or appearance to be more appealing to someone you liked?
Most definitely. I know that it's not really something I like to admit, but there have definitely been periods, especially during the more transition periods in my life, like when I was going into middle school, when I was going out of middle school, where I felt the need to change myself to appeal to a group or a person because I thought it would help me fit in better.
Okay, so I think I did this a lot in middle school where I would change less of my appearance but more of my personality around certain people because I wanted attention, primarily from guys, because I kind of lacked that at home at the time. because I didn't have as strong as a relationship with my mom and other people that I looked up to at the time, I seeked that attention in other people.
Have you ever judged and labeled anyone as pick me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I most definitely have. It's never been something that I've said out loud, but it's definitely been a thought that's crossed my mind.
There are multiple people. I still feel the same way about some of them. It's complicated to say the least.
The first label that was thrown out there to kind of label a woman.
There's definitely some people that are still out there that seek attention for the male gaze, yeah.
Do you feel there are acceptable and unacceptable ways to be feminine today? Who has set those standards?
I think some acceptable ways to be feminine are like mature, being able to understand and be socially aware about yourself and also others, how your actions affect others. But I think trying to recognize that and then manipulating a person, that's unacceptable.
If you are a woman and you can be as feminine or masculine as you want, I personally lean a little more towards the masculine side, but I know a lot of girls that really like wearing dresses or wearing pink and more feminine things, which is completely okay. And
I think that femininity and the label for femininity has definitely changed over the past few years. I think in the modern age, there are so many forms of expression, whether they fall into feminine or masculine traits, feminine or masculine articles of clothing. And I think that there is such a broad sort of genre now that anyone, boy or girl or non-binary, can fit into any of those forms of expression.
It used to be very different how women were mostly very quiet, but as we moved on into the generations, throughout history, women started getting stronger roles as like businesswomen, doctors, and I think women themselves, by growing, I think they've set that standard where they're strong and mature.
Like there's no stopping us now, which I think is something that has definitely changed over the past 2 years, or the past few years. But I think that most boundaries that were set for femininity have definitely been set by those who want to bring us down.
unacceptable to be misogynistically feminine or believe that like, oh, as a wife, it's your responsibility to do this and this and this because equality.
It's not only just men who have been most notable for putting up those barriers around what they believe femininity should be expressed as, but unfortunately it does manifest in women hating on other women and bringing down femininity or masculinity because they believe that there is sort of one side or one perfect middle ground that someone should fit in. But there is a wide range of expression that I think anyone can fit into, and luckily I think that we are moving into an era where people are starting to feel more comfortable.
For a lot of more misogynistic men, one of the standards that they will set is that you need to be a housewife and you need to be modest, with clothing, because it's okay to be a woman until you show it.
How can the constant evaluation by men or by other women impact someone mentally?
Any form of judgment that criticizes expression has the ability to fundamentally change the way that someone expresses themselves.
It puts pressure on them to be liked by everyone, and to be liked by everyone, they will often, they'll seek drama from people to get those people's trust, and then they'll take that drama to other people to get those people's trust so that they're liked by both sides, and they'll talk to a lot of guys and they'll flirt with a lot of guys, and in general it's almost like they're trying to make everyone happy, but it makes no one happy, and I think that can also really tear down their self-esteem.
Sometimes if you're evaluated as bad, you're like, how can I do better? Why am I not good enough? or even if you're put on like a very high standard like pedestal, some people would feel that they need to stay there, and so when they're evaluated again, they're like, oh, you're not the same way, you used to be better, like.
And I think that a lot of the times people tend to value the opposite sex's opinion more, and not necessarily because we're trying to appeal to them, but because we feel as though maybe the opposite sex has more say.
I don't let people have their impact on me, so I don't really think about it.
Eventually, when we kind of get to that border of the same sex, criticizing each other's forms of expression for whatever reason, I think that also makes us take a fundamental shift, because if we see others appealing to certain groups and we start to become envious of that form of expression, we do naturally kind of get the sense that we should change. I think it's kind of this form of evolution where we feel that to survive, like survival of the fittest, we need to change ourselves in order to adapt to our environment.
Have you ever been accused of being a pick-me or worried you would be perceived as one?
Definitely. Definitely.
Yes, definitely.
There has always been a part of me that has feared being called a pick-me girl, that has inevitably gone on to view others as pick-me girls, be afraid of kind of turning into them. And it took me years to notice the development of this habit. And it wasn't until maybe late middle school that I really started to notice that this was going on.
Especially in middle school, I haven't been called it to my face, but to probably behind my back or heavily implied by other people that I was a pick-me girl, and it upset me a lot at first, but it gave me that push forward to be a better person and seek my own validation from myself and the people that I actually look up to, rather than just from, random people that I don't know that don't know me.
I do kind of view those moments of natural feminine expression as endangering, threatening to my perception to others, like how people view me, whether or not they view me as a pick-me girl. And it's made me subconscious about some of the things that I do, the natural habits that I have, the way I interact with boys and women alike. I mean, it has taken me so long to truly grow into the person that I want to become, because I've always felt the need to kind of push that down because of things like the pick-me girl movement.
Do you think the original meaning of what a pick-me girl is has been misused or lost?
Someone could be living their life, a woman could be living their life. She is walking and she just does something simple, living her life. Maybe she's happy, or maybe she's like actually sad and stuff, and someone may label her as a pick-me girl.
Yes, because there's a lot of uneducated people that try to accuse someone of being one just by talking to a lot of people, like friends, or laughing really loudly. So, and that's not what it really means, so.
Absolutely. My personal definition would be a woman who seeks primarily male gaze and also puts down other women in search for that male validation. So I think the way we use it now is putting down other women.
She's like, oh, she's trying to stay quiet, she's trying to be shy, pretend to be shy. Oh, she's trying to be energetic for this one person. It's like, those are both different condescending things. They're separate things.
People who say, I'm pretty, you're a pick-me. If you're confident about yourself, about your body, about your brain, about anything about yourself in general, if you think you're smart, if you think you're pretty, if you think you are, confident,
it's kind of been overblown. It's kind of become broader than it initially was.
You think you can do this or that, If you think you're the best at your sport, you are a pick-me.
And you could label either one as a pick-me girl, but they're different things. That's just part of their personality. And so it's been misused on people that are just normally like that.
Because at the start of the entire like pick-me girl trend, I think it was meant to criticize women who felt the need to like brag about their male-centered lives. But it has swiftly evolved from that one little trend. It's become all-encompassing to include women who just express themselves in one denomination or the other, people who choose to talk about men in even the slightest fashion, people who have a crush on the opposite sex or the same sex, or
and that's something that like I don't agree with. You know, people say that a lot, and it's really sad to see that a term that was originally used to call out the people who were genuinely just misogynistic, bad people, is now used to put down those people, and just put down women in general.
It has just become this all-encompassing thing that is meant to insult above all else. So while I think the meaning hasn't changed, it's grown.
After spending a couple days with these interviewees, I realized the consistent themes of insecurity, pressure, and validation amongst these tough and struggling times within these teens' lives. We go over the long-term effects and the awareness of the societal pressure and the reflection on these younger experiences for these girls. We discuss about how this label has been overused and how anything can make you a pick-me, highlighting how the term has become harmful and limiting towards these lives. But how can we truly offer the support amongst other women? How can we switch this competition and need for validation to the confidence and individuality that we need in this world?
So I think instead of competing for male gaze, don't compete for gays at all. You don't need women to like you or men to like you, or anything in between. You know, like it doesn't matter what other people think, and caring about what other people think, that's what causes like less morale in the world. Like
that a lot of things need to change. I think that there is a fundamental issue that we have with so many things. It is this movement and this fight against oppression and everything that the pick-me girl trend represents is rooted in so much hate.
Maybe just like avoid it, because I would avoid it because it's not my business.
And it's rooted in oppression against women. It's rooted in homophobia. It's rooted in transphobia. It's rooted in so many topics that we refuse to discuss openly.
You know, it's what causes, you know, for you to be not confident or not happy with who you are as a person. And so seeking your own validation is what needs to happen.
So I think that the first step that we need to take is begin discussing those things openly. Begin talking about problems that may not be the most comfortable to broach in public.
Stop caring about what other people think. It doesn't matter. Like, love yourself, you know, love the people around you, love who you are for who you are, and stop worrying about how men perceive you, about how other women perceive you, about how you're, like, be happy with who you are, and stop worrying about like what makes you like valid as a good person or as a happy person.
Like I said earlier, to not care what other people think about them.
And if it makes you happy, do what you want with yourself. You know, you don't have to find attention in other people. Just be confident with who you are, and you know, you don't have to worry about being perceived as a pick-me. Just love yourself. And if people see that as you being a pick-me, then maybe they're the pick-me.
And most importantly, I think it's time for women to kind of come together, to really unite and take a stand against this constant hate. I think we need to support each other, no matter what we do, no matter the things we choose to express in public, no matter the people we choose to talk about or talk to, or I think that we just need to come together, because that really is the solution. It's supporting each other in everything, guiding each other, helping each other. That is where we'll be able to find our true peace with this movement.